Vaccines are safe and efficient. Vaccination is the most effective way of controlling any disease outbreaks. Therefore, getting vaccinated is the best way to protect oneself and loved ones from the coronavirus pandemic. The Gambia's Ministry of Health in March 2021 started a nationwide vaccination campaign to protect the populace from the menace of the deadly pandemic, which claimed 343 lives according to the 413th National Situation Report published in December 2021. AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson and Sinopharm are the vaccines that are being administered in the campaign across all regions. One of the health regions is the Western 2 Health Region, which stretches from Katun to Kalaji with a population of about 600,000 people, and 30% of that is targeted for the campaign. Giving an insight of the campaign, Aminata Silla, the Health Promotion and Education Officer in the region, highlights the eligibility criteria for getting the vaccines.
Once we said COVID-19 vaccination campaign is a vaccination campaign where we're targeting people aged 18 and above, but we started the campaign not today. We started it a little bit longer than today. That was March in 2021. Our first contacts were health workers. We are the first people to be immunized. From there, it was prioritized. Then we have priority group of social workers, where we have other health carers, that's the village health workers. Also, people with comorbidities are also part of it. That's people with, for example, people with high blood pressure and also people with diabetes. We also talk about the hoteliers. We talk about the security forces because of the people they see. If we look at it, it's not prioritized based on because we want to prioritize, but the contact, how many contact does these people have? So based on that, from there, teachers also are prioritized. But as far as COVID-19 vaccination is concerned, everybody age 18 and above is important to be vaccinated.
Silla tells the history and efficacy of vaccination campaigns in the Gambia and assures the population of the safety of the vaccines used in the ongoing campaign.
I believe COVID is not the first vaccine Gambia introduced or we introducing. Before COVID, we have other vaccines. And if we just reflect back a little bit, we'll see that most of the vaccine preventable diseases, we have success through vaccination. I will give you example of just few vaccine preventable disease like measles. When we talk about measles, we will not say measles is not in the country, but it's difficult to see measles case. Even if you see it, it has been contained. It's all through the success of the vaccine. And one thing we want to tell people, vaccines are effective, they are safe, and they are efficacy 95%. And we can boost anywhere to tell people that once you want to be protected and you want to prevent for any infection, most especially vaccine preventable diseases, the best way, the best strategy you can do is through vaccination.
Abdul Boy, a public health officer and mobilizer in the campaign, explains how they reach out to communities through their leaders.
What we were doing is like, first of all, we started with the influential people, like the alcalos, the imams, the village health workers, councillors, chiefs. We engage them at the initial stage, whereby we call them at the chiefs, and sometime back at BM also. We discuss with them about the COVID-19 pandemic, like what are the preventive measures that one can use to prevent him or herself. And also at the latter part, when the vaccines arrive, we also have a meeting with them before we started the vaccination, whereby we call the same people that I mentioned, like the alcalos, the imam, the village health workers, the councillor and the chiefs, for them to inform their people that the vaccine is around, and the vaccination will start as soon as possible.
Despite engagement with the community leaders to pass on to their people information regarding the vaccination campaign, Boy laments how some communities remain vaccine hesitant.
But along the line, we have a lot of vaccine hesitancy because of some of the influential leaders that were selected during the community sensitization were not disseminating the information to the communities or to their villages, because when we go around, most of the villages, the vaccine hesitancy is just too much. Because in some communities you will go there, nobody will receive the vaccine. When you ask the alcalo will tell you like they decline, meaning that nobody in the village accept to receive the vaccine. So we could not do much but to pack our things and leave.
For the EF colleague, also a public health officer and mobilizer, delve into other community mobilization means they use.
We also went to the radio station. Every Monday, 6 to 7, we normally have a radio talk show, whereby we choose a particular topic we discuss with the mass. Then whereby every Monday, then we see that it is necessary for us to discuss COVID-19 with regard to the COVID-19 prevention, whereby vaccination is key. Now what we'll do is that in each of these communities, each community has a structures. Normally a community whereby you have the alcalos and the VDC, we have the village workers. For instance, in such occasion, now we'll invite not only the alcalos, but for instance, the village health workers are always invited, the Kanyalengos and the VDCs, in order for us to sensitize and so that they can know the importance of the vaccination. Normally, before we went for a particular community, we communicate prior us leaving, telling the alcalo that we'll be coming this day, so and so. You can also inform your imam. Normally, when this time for prayers, it is Isaha or Maghrib prayers, you can also inform other elders so that whenever they are back with their families, they can also explain to them.
The role of traditional rulers is key in the mobilization process, which Omar Koli, the chief of Fonyi Bondali district, acknowledges, but says it is not without challenges.
To us, the chiefs, we have a big role to play, and we have played a very, very, very vital role, so that people can understand COVID with our local authorities, like the alcalos, the VDC chairmen, women kafolu. Nonetheless, we have so many challenges. Challenge number one is sensitization about this media campaigns, like WhatsApp groups. It makes our work to be very, very difficult. Some people will say COVID is not available. COVID is not here in the Gambia because there is sun, And what we used to, the strategy that we have used to tell them is, if you are sick, you have to go to the hospital. And when you are sick, any type of medicine that they give you, you accept it. So why not? If the doctors told us that this is what is happening, this is the disease, I think we should listen to the doctors better than any other people. It is very difficult at the beginning, but people started understanding the dangers with COVID and the risks with COVID.
Mohamed Jajo, a Red Cross volunteer, assists in the mobilization. He raises the awareness of the communities on the dangers of coronavirus and how it can be prevented.
Mkatale house to house, kamol sensitize, anyum kurango la mimbe caring, kurango mimumenti, akaminke, anufala nkafu muli la ko, kurango nyim, kurango la mialonko, nae muta, amanjara rango sodo. So tankarango da male bala, jara lantala, nkole fu muli. Anufala nkafu ile ko, oto, kurango mialonko, jararan tala tankarango da male bala nyanda mu ferele kala pru nyin kurango kana mol muta oto jandim bitaka kurango nyin jara nga kata nga ferol kemila lonko nyin kurango be tankala la late mutala butu ise nyininka wala mu ferol timila lonko nyanta min kala pru ka tanka nyin kurango la nsa fo ko bulukuo ase tankandi no la nyin kurango la ke buloku wato wati anum fana ka maksodu wala dolka sama ni ko dolka fa ni ha iso dunno le ni odum ase tankandi no nyin courant wala le anum fana jama bengo nga katanka jamfa jama bengo la blami anko molbe siarine nga kana time jama soto je anim fana nga sidla mi la lonko fonyo ka saku letle nse tankano nyin courant wala anum fana pengol le fana be kiri milia lonko ne nyim pengo ta ase tankandi no le nyim courant wala nyim pengo courant nyina e soto ita jara no la but ne nyim pengo ta ase tankani nole hani kurango nyin dunte jato kono ate batandela nganyin ne futandi molma ke yamari ka itandi ko nyine bat nanola nga tankanyin kurangola.
After mobilization, vaccine administration follows. Noha Jabang, a vaccine administrator, explains the process.
Yeah, in vaccines are meant for preventions, and they have age categories. You understand? Because when it comes to the COVID vaccines, we administering from the age 18 years and above. So, in a normal sense, if people come and if they want to get the vaccines, what you first need to ask, you need to establish their age, because you need not to rush and just give them the vaccine. In as much as we want all the population or the required age to get the vaccines, the vaccine is not meant for the under 18. So you need to establish the age. If the person is within the age that you are looking for, then you give the vaccines. That's the first thing you need to ask for. You already identified the ages they should get vaccinated. Then we have recorders here as well who are recording in the digital system. We get the information, then we set them for vaccinations to clean the area before you administer the vaccine into someone's system, because we prevent it. We don't want to cause harm to an individuals. These vaccines are life attenuated. It doesn't mean that the components of the vaccines are dead, but they are weakened in sense. So if they go to the system, they'll be activated. So anything that has to go to the system should be very, very clean. And we have route of administration for the COVID vaccines. That is we give it on the deltoid.
Amadou Bojang travels to Brikama Hospital to take the vaccine. He encourages others to follow suit, saying taking a jab may even prevent one from contracting other infections aside from COVID.
So dunia be na kambe kana pengo nyum bon janjane dunia kono pour ka mol ma ko pour mol sitanga nyum courant la wara courant se mo wara batale say mol se wakil mole nyim pengo ta ka du defala sidi nyame janga nga pengo nyin tal fu ko pare sa mbole diam wala tek pour ka mol sabana million ko e mata pour se wakil e pengo nyin ta ka do jara kende a bale bi anu asikeno fana atakena nyum courant da mari asede ma no fana courant do masala bada jaro kono kadu jara kende am pengole say mbese wakili million ko imam pengo nyinta alla ale nyim pengo nyinta jara kende a bale biji neegi dunia be kambe na pour nyim pengo kan pour mo la jara kende say mbese wakili min mata anna ale pengo nyinta ndefo min ka diam den defo ngatale mi diamo min naten mi le plano reten.
After receiving her jab, Dabo dismisses the myth associated with the vaccines before calling on others to embrace it.
Memoli amarra puri fane nyimpengota jata kende ala ba no ntanga ta da mento de mayel ma fenti anda man fenken na folode memoli amarra puru men yalon ko fana manyinke jata kende anye puri fane nana e fane fenko nyinke coronavirus fenko nyinke Imam
Fanseni Sane of Kampanti village in the Fonyi Kansala district receives the vaccine. He believes healthcare givers will not bring vaccines detrimental to the health of the masses.
Alilo miat nangata olomu jata kenda niko jata kenda nata moli jata kenda tengalo ne multiple loptane ye fengol samana mi along ni adi mola mari ate balula efa hani min be loptano to wol kan tolle makoy ntoldo do mi yalong nim ite balo mansaha walla ni sasa mi yalong ay dunia bele kumbang ka dindingo ke bawo fengo fe mi yalo be nyin dunia ko ne yakalam tale woto nimmo nata ko nya boro fele nyanta wakilale yata wala na wala inte wakilindi ngata pour jate kende ngam soto.
Contrary to the rumors, Imam Sane has not experienced any health complications after taking the COVID-19 vaccine.
Teode mamfe ngofen kalam tan mbal jato kono. An safo na alhamdulillah kabinga ta nga jata kende amin sodo tumando bato ko manto mo soto no. Baraka binga nyimpengo ta alhamdulillah nga ala tentu bake kato wato watil tambita mbalo fanka kulia nyame nyim pengo de ayenten jara baka ni atra ibaful nya fulala wala sabambata la fam.
The Imam enjoins everyone in his community who are yet to take their dose to do so, citing the numerous benefits for vaccine uptake.
O momi along amata ali wakili aleta nyim pengo ta. Nyim pengo ikamin fo ne ata ake balo batandi tendin ten walla ake kurang dole dila o manke nyim pengo sifati. Momo mimbe nyin sate kono walla mimbe sate nyin sate danangol ali wakili ali finti aleta pengo ta buyam walla niyal tara dawda sate kono ali wakili ali finti aleta nyim ikantol le makoy amanke femmiya long ni mata ake batani tumando bada faniyata ni finta jang ibita banku dola ite batala ni kayto be bulu nyin kayto sifa mimbe bulu teng ni ata dawda kanyin kayto lila ni bita senegal ni ta banko ibe nyin kayto samala yetaje mol kabonan tubabri ke pengo ni nyin kayto kanale woto ne pengo yetana isra janne inyante wakile yata.
Ramatullah Sise, his wife, also takes her job and appeals to women to show up, assuring them of no consequences.
Inyanta wakilo ye pengota katunte fango min kadiya mute nga pengota le andu biri ngata pengo fana mante batandi na do ko nkakele hani wolungon tata ngana do ko ke aso mo fana tata program dula amante lande woto mbedani rokela na badi musol anindo manual ibe nga wakilo nga pengota tanata nyim pengota fo jata kende ya kola.
Kaditamba sees the vaccine as a necessity, thus her reason for taking it. She too did not experience the viral misconceptions attached to the vaccine.
Ngajele ko fenne mi yalon ko anyanta kata wala tinangata kantumbe ajele nyi kura ngo benyame ya itande mola ko ne nyi pengota wala be tankala wala nam fana ngata pour ngatanka.
Thamba recalls many vaccination campaigns were held in the past, but none of them harmed the people. She calls on her people to keep faith and take the vaccine for COVID prevention.
Tedenga ala tentula kantunte bringata ama fenken mayela masiseti mayela mahanda fenkatonti wanga moyle ikafa ko ni ata fani mo balo landije mo balo kana pujela wara ni ko jaro laje ko jaro kana pujela banto ngata le barama fengo fenkentolla ama fengo fenkentolla kantunte ngal nte baro manke kurangote anu ngal ne pengo min dunta jaro kana manke kuran pengote nasi fenna ponde mbalo bala be min fala mole wala nyiti ko nga dankene ya anu ngalon ko pengol man commencé bila penguta man commencé bila metale ka pengota barane na man fenke mola woto nyin coronavirus fara nana pengo nyi nana ni ko ngata nyanta nga dankene ala man satala kili wala ngata because of anata pour ka mol tankande wala nany pengol nata raman na fasoto pengol tinala jam.
Muhammad Bojang, home with his spouse, takes the vaccine, encourages health authorities to keep up the sensitization through which many would come to understand the message.
Han saying jata kende ambunda mol kana pasi sensitization oke dorong e wakil ka dum mol kan ka sensitization oke nameta jamal ba faham lal koy ba faham kan nyame kato osila folol kabribe borol di ndo personal ni fota nyokole man taranunja par nen taranunja batalal par nyin silo kabribe tarja he ngoy ko ititala mante pengu kato hanin namuso defa ngasa manane ya pengu par woni mbite man tolo bel bitaka binalal hanna dimbal fawno atare janjante tata karam moto don tani be pengula ha kosna dinol mimbe etini es kata sandola be pengula.
While he encourages all and sundry to take the vaccine, Bojan testifies that the misconceptions associated with the vaccines are false because none of them manifested in him after taking his dose.
Nyinti pengo manje kokutati nyim pengo ko metale anu nyaaje fana nyim pengo fintana sai ala courant le fintana wala ne kamol pengo momo yalon ko manyim pengo ta do karam mol danila e wachili e pengo ta abuko am kutije kamin fo wottije aman soto mol le bela ni dia ko mol fo kan do min dia te yafo anu amon fen fenti nya mo bala fa giata ken dadila man sate fen sambala nan ala banko kam pour kala banko dingol tora mi alon ko ni a kedron abela banko dingol tora o man sate keri wanni aje man sabe wakilla ka dépense o kala woto salon ko abe lafri ngala banku dingol la jata kende alla woto wakili momo mata e wakili eta e pengota fon fentije e kam min fo ma soto.
A young man in his 20s, Abujame, alias Doctor, takes the vaccine. He predicts vaccine hesitancy among youth might haunt them in life, citing examples.
I come from protect, like, come corona nyimbe kirinya diama over Seattle sate kono, so kan ñun ntol youth sol ntol ñantam fam ma ko la baake kata parce que ni mata bi sama se mol afik ñore dula do mi manke janti ndenga jelen ka fu ñoma jamal mi man son kata jay findita out itata mi mburuni nan imata wala na ye drop tam bag tara foy fotata out e a potodi drop ta ñami lanta ñami rek ye ñininka fo ale corona vaccine o ñinta ko imata ko almuru bag ale tata la kontito ale na inata na imata tano jang imata no jana and ite murno la bag fanan.
The young man says he keeps advising his friends and family to take the vaccine before the campaign ends.
Nka fu ñomal mbe advice kan pour yeta yata ye janda be stop la be ko yale bulu ana nde o ka ngata le de man tar fe nje kam bala folo anu ni ala son dafa ngalo nde fe nje lam bala fana mar mi mol ya mar la le pour na yata ke anna sade fa ngon ka fo gali alfindi alle ta ala ta be data ndol ya fa ngon ka fo gali alfindi alle ta ata.
A vaccine hesitant who prefers anonymity believes in the misconceptions associated with the vaccines, and he refuses to take a dose.
No, I did not take the vaccine because I had a lot of scandals about the vaccine, a lot of disadvantages about the vaccine. First of all, I heard that the vaccine, like for women, if you don't, have a child before marriage, before taking the vaccine, if you take the vaccine, you can never bear a child. And secondly, I heard that the vaccine, if you take the vaccine, it used to damage your immune system. Everybody has an immune system inside your body. So the vaccine used to damage the immune system. For men, it used to damage your reproductive system. You understand? Okay. And if at all you're supposed to live for maybe 50 years, you will live for 25 years. And so on and so on.
He demands much orientation to convince him before he would take a jab.
I need a proper explanation for me to understand more about the vaccine. Because I have heard from rumors, and I saw it on social media. I have seen videos, I have heard audios, and different.
Mbayam Jom, the Regional Operations Officer for the expanded program on immunization Western 2 Health Region, decries the low vaccine uptake by the masses.
It's very low in the region. Since we started vaccinations earlier this year, since March, up till date, we are vaccinating. There was no day that we had not vaccinated people against COVID, unless the vaccines are not available. But so long as vaccines are there, we will vaccinate despite our busy schedules. The population that is vaccinated so far for both Astra and Johnson is just 9% of the population when we are targeting 30%. So you can see the gap there. From 9, we just vaccinated 9% of the population when we are targeting 30. So when do we get to the 30%? From March to November, after 6 months.
She blames the low uptake on the myth surrounding the vaccines, which makes people hesitant.
When it comes to why coverages are low, community people, because there were so many social mobilizations we were doing, going down to the community level, trying to talk to them, giving them facts, very right information concerning COVID. But all they would tell us is they don't believe in the vaccines. The vaccines are not safe because there are so many myths attached to it. They will be like, okay, once you are vaccinated against COVID, in the next 5 minutes, you might die.
Jom appeals to everyone to take the vaccine for COVID prevention.
So I appeal to the general public, any person that is 18 years and above, despite wherever you may be, everywhere in the Gambia. I'm not only speaking in the name of Western 2 Health Region. As of now, everywhere in the Gambia, anywhere you can access a health facility, the COVID vaccines are being given. let them go out, come out in numbers, take the vaccines. Vaccines, of course, are safe. Vaccines are efficient, and it saves lives. So any vaccines, before they come to the Gambia or to any part of the world, must have gone several clinical trials just to see that if these vaccines are given to people, it will not cost them their lives. It will not cost them something else, but rather the intention that we had would obviously be accomplished. That is, saving the lives of the general public.
The testimonies by the vaccine recipients speak volume of the efforts made by the Ministry of Health in ensuring a successful COVID-19 vaccination campaign in the Western 2 Health Region and beyond. However, much needs to be done to change the negative perceptions about the vaccines and boost the uptake to meet the target of inoculating 30% of the almost 600,000 people of the Western Health 2 region.